Oh my god, that was really painful. Oh. Hi pals. So I'm just gonna tell you a bit about what I'm doing today whilst I get ready, because I have some videos to film later. I wanna feel somewhat ready for, because I feel ugly. But today I am dabbling in like an online mini writer's retreat for a day. You know, see what's going on, see what it's all about. I did a journaling workshop with this company. They're called the Writers HQ, and they use Crowdcast for like live streams and stuff. And I only just recently found it, and I was like, you know what, let's have a go with some journaling. Journaling was like alright, so afterwards I thought, well, let's give the writer's retreat a go. So I thought I would just take you along with me, and just, you know, share my writing experience, because I also just have no video ideas or motivation at this point in time. So 2 in 1, you know, I just need some help. I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed with everything. It's so hot, like I can't cope. I'm trying to just get myself out of this funk, you know, just out of this funk. Because I was doing really well with just doing things again. And then, I don't know whether it was the heat or things to do with my health and my body, but you know, things have not been good mentally. I've also been kind of like focused on doing things at home to try and sort shit out, because I just feel very bogged down by many things. Because honestly, at this point, what's the point? So yeah, I have random bouts of motivation to work on my work in progress piece. I want to try and get a decent amount of it written, because I want to use it as like an application piece to master's programs. But also, the world is on fire, so what's the fucking point? You know, it's very hard to see what the point is in doing anything ever, because will life go back to normal, or any version of normal? Probably not. Plus, I'm so much sicker now that my idea of doing a master's abroad for a year or 2 years, because some of them are 2 years, it depends on where you go. I don't know how I would get my meds, like particularly my injections. I'm not as worried about pills, but my injections, I don't know, like especially like, would I have to pay for them if I went somewhere else? Would I have to start paying for this shit, or would I still be covered by the NHS? You know, I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know how it works. You know, things people don't talk about enough, or aren't publicly talked about very often. I feel so puffy. Probably, like, I think I'm like imagining it as well. Body dysmorphia. I'm just gonna wait until it starts. I'll see you in a minute.
Morning everyone, how are we doing today? Welcome. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Lexi. I'm normally run Writers HQ retreats in Cambridge in real life ones. They've been going for a while now, but we'll eventually get back to it. That's where I'll be. So I'm in South Cambridgeshire. At the moment, my weather is similar to most of yours actually. It's just a bit there. It's hot. It's trying to rain.
I've just finished the morning writers retreat thing on the Writers HQ crowdcast. What the fuck? I actually wrote words. I wrote words. What the fuck? So I started off with already at 4,250 words for my work in progress piece. That's kind of the beginning of a novel I want to write, and also kind of what I'm planning on using currently anyway to apply for a master's where I can write this novel basically. And I wasn't far off the words needed anyway for the application. From what I've seen in most places, it's like between a few thousand to 5,000 words, you know, like kind of the first chapter or like a few chapters of a novel, if that's what you're using to apply and what you plan on working on. But I am one of those people who kind of just writes a lot of excess. I write a lot of extra stuff that may not be particularly necessary to the plot, to the piece, but I find it useful for myself for backstory. For me, I wanted to write more. I kind of think I'd like to estimate like maybe 10,000 words that I can cut down and maybe like only use a few of the thousands for applications, because I like to try and be as over-prepared as possible, but whatever. So yeah, the first stretch of it was 9 until 10, so that's an hour. Well, kind of like 40 minutes because you have this intro chat at 9. And then they sort of say writing sprints of like 20 to 30 minutes. I roughly was writing in sprints of like 25 minutes. So the first one was like one sprint and I wrote like 550, 600 words. Not bad for someone who hasn't written for this work in progress for a while. I don't remember how long, but it's been a while. And then it goes from 10 until half 11. I'm sorry, I couldn't read. My brain just went. Bonjour. But again, it kind of depends on whether you stick around for the check-in chat stuff on Twitter or the forum, and I didn't really stick around for very long. So I had 2 separate sprints of like 25 minutes within that time because I also needed to eat breakfast. So I managed to I wrote an extra 1,120 words. So that's like almost kind of like basically what I did before. Like 500-ish words per sprint, which is pretty decent. I went into this aiming for like 1,000 words, just generally. Because I've never done this before, I don't really know how it works. Wasn't sure if I'd be maybe stuck in my brain. There were some people who were working on editing as well, so it could be like a good tool for editing as well as writing. Then it went from 11:30ish till 1 p.m. Like the forum check-in thing didn't really go up at 11:30, so I did a quick check-in on Twitter and then kind of just went straight back to it. So that was another hour and a half, and I did, this is where I focused on editing, but then also added bits for scenes I kind of skipped over before. And I ended up writing Like, it wasn't loads more, it was like, oh no, it was like another 600 words. So like I spent one sprint mostly editing, and then the second sprint was the writing for the scenes that I hadn't finished. Overall, I wrote 2,250 words in a few hours today, just because I sat down and did a virtual writing retreat. Okay, makes sense. So now my piece is 6,500 words long. So that's more than enough. I've now sent it to a friend of mine for some like generalized feedback. I like to speak to a mixture of people who are also writers, but also people who just like to read. They're not necessarily writers. Because writers will look at writing from like a very technical point of view. I find that I see things more technically than my friends who didn't study writing. But I like to speak to friends who do enjoy reading to just see how the piece made them feel, you know, more like an abstract feedback kind of thing. And also to see whether things I write make sense to people who maybe aren't like particularly writing minded, if you understand what I mean. Because if I want to publish my book, I'm not publishing my book for writers, I'm publishing my book for readers, you know. So I want to have a mixture of like technical feedback for like the nitty-gritty things later on down the line when I'm like nearing finishing. But I really like to hear from people who just like to read, because I try to make my characters as authentic as possible, and I find the best way of doing that is by like speaking to normal people rather than people who all feel, think and speak the same. Like I send it to my friends and we speak and think the same in like a people way. We don't think and speak the same in like a writing way. So that was actually really good. I think I'd definitely do this again. It was free to sign up. If I remember, I'll leave a link in the description to the Crowdcast page or their like website or whatever, because they have other paid things you can do on their website, but I am poor. But like, you know, I'm literally kind of shocked, and I feel kind of like it's kind of helped me feel motivated to do some things. Like I feel like I started this video like I'm in a funk, I feel shitty, I'm not doing things that I want to be doing, and then now I'm kind of like I did some things and I'm really proud of what I've done so far, so I'm going to do some more things. you know makes sense. So like, yeah, I don't know, I feel like I'm proud of myself for doing as well as I did. I wasn't expecting that at all, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know, I feel like I needed to make this as like a video to talk about how I've been feeling, because my content has been all over the fucking place, and I'm so sorry, but like I just cannot, my brain don't work in this heat for a start, and that's it. Start, end, that was it. So yeah, I don't know if you guys are interested in me talking about writing again, then, you know, maybe I'll come back. Maybe I'll talk through, maybe I'll do another journaling webinar, what the fuck ever those things are called, and vlog and talk about that. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Hello? Is it me you're looking for? There we go, I'm just going to end that there. Leave a like if you enjoyed this. Even if you didn't, I would just appreciate it, you know. Leave a comment down below. If you know any other kind of like writing resources that are free or very cheap, hook me up because I need some help. and subscribe to my channel. I'm here, it's still me, your local disabled gay book geek, you know, it me. Help. And I'll see you in next, is that what I'm saying? And I'll see you in next week's video. Bye. Help.